All right, guys, so June 26, 2023, LSU wins the national championship, arguably the greatest season of all time in college baseball. Lots happened in the last 4 months for all you guys. Tell us about what you've been up to and your impressions of post-college baseball. What have they been like?
It's been pretty laid back, honestly. A lot of free time. Had to get used to that. Haven't had free time like this in 10 months, so actually my whole life, really.
Ever.
I don't know, just a lot of free time. Actually getting 3 meals in a day now, so that's good. Lots of sleep too, so I don't know, finding my routine, kind of get used to it now, and just having fun right now. Just getting back into workouts, and it's good seeing these guys too. So everybody's back and working out here. It's it's good.
Yeah, you need a hobby.
Yeah, I know. Fishing. I got some guns, so I bought some guns. We're going out shooting a couple times a week. So
never had this much time off ever.
Yeah.
Where it's like, cause usually when you're off, like you still have some kind of baseball, but now it's like teams that we're with, like they kind of want you to be completely off from baseball. So it's actually cool to do that. So enjoy your time at home, especially when we come back to school and get to hang out with these guys. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, hanging out with the puppies, playing video games, new Fortnite OG, shooting guns, playing golf, fishing, and just reflecting. After we all went straight to pro ball, we never really got a chance to sit back or for me at least, I never got to sit back and just really process what happened, what we just did. But it's just super cool to think back and see what we did.
I guess, as fans, we hear about the transition from the lifestyle of a college baseball player compared to life on the minor leagues. I guess most of us think of Bull Durham as being the typical minor league experience. You guys have any early minor league experiences that you could share?
It's different from Bull Durham for sure. I don't know, because I definitely expected it to be like that, and it was better than I expected. I don't know about you guys, but they're feeding us and providing us housing and stuff like that. So that was a pleasant surprise for sure. I mean, it's still a grind, but better than I expected in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it was cool. I think it was kind of was hard, I feel like, a little bit, because going from being on the mountaintop of where we were at and stuff, and all of a sudden, it's not like no one compares to here stuff, especially when you get sent straight to minor league ball and stuff. You realize how grateful and how blessed we were to have all this stuff here and stuff. So it takes you a while to get right back with the way baseball is and stuff, and grinding it back out and stuff. It was cool. I enjoyed it. Got a lot of cool experiences out there.
Yeah, you go from pitching in front of 25,000 to throwing on a backfield at noon on a Thursday
in front of 17 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have a locker room when I got there. We were in a tent in Jupiter. So, and it was 105 degrees with the humidity. So we were grinding.
Yeah, welcome to it.
Yeah. So I got a taste real quick.
Yeah, about 105. I remember my first week I stepped off the plane. And it's different. It's totally different. But my first week I go out there and stuff, and they're like, all right, let's go warm up. And I remember looking at my phone. It was 121 degrees. I was like, oh, okay. I get my truck, and my truck's been sitting in the sun all day. And I get in there about 2-3 o'clock. My truck says 139. I'm being like, oh my God, I got so tan so fast, just shagging and stuff, doing pitching duties, because you do a lot more pitching duties there than you did it. What we did here is they mandated us to shag.
So I know you guys in the last 4 months have been asked questions many times about Omaha and the experience, and you've had some time to reflect on it. Just if you guys could maybe just talk about what stands out to you about that experience and winning the College World Series and being around 25,000 people and all the LSU fans around the hotel, what all that meant to you guys.
I don't know, man. It was just an unbelievable experience. You could sit here and talk about it as much as you want and watch it on TV and all the highlight videos, but being out there in front of everybody, there's no other feeling in the world like that. And having that support that we had, it was pretty special to see. It wasn't just LSU though; it was everybody, all LSU fans from around the world that were watching us and supporting us. So all came together, and it was an unbelievable experience.
Yeah, I mean, walking down before the game, there's 6,000 people in the hotel lobby. Yeah. You can't even step. they have a tunnel for us. We're just walking through the
It was
doors.
just a party for 2 weeks straight.
I mean, I know a lot of people that drove down just for the third game.
Yeah.
Like from 16-hour drives, they drove through the night just to see the third game. I thought that was crazy. Like, that's just shows what LSU fans are about. It's just super cool.
Second week of the season, and people are already coming up to us and telling us they booked their hotels and their flights to Omaha, and we're like, all right, that sounds good.
See y'all there.
See that?
Most people don't realize how hard it is to do what you guys did, how hard it is just to get to Omaha. Were there points in the season where you guys felt like you had to overcome certain obstacles to propel yourself to where you wanted to go?
I feel like we had a stopping point when we got beat by South Carolina, Texas A&M in the SEC tournament. I feel like there was a point where we thought as a team it was an overturning point. We're like, all right, we know we're better than this. It's time to step it up a little bit and stuff. And I mean, from that day forward, so we talked for. I feel like after the game, so we sat in our little team room and stuff. I feel like there was 2 hours. We had family waiting outside the room and everything and stuff, and we were just sitting there and talking about anything that people needed to talk about. Everybody talked about it. There was no everything was said. No one was hiding anything. No feelings getting hurt stuff. Nothing was personal stuff, and everybody took it and stuff. And then from that day on, it was just going. We didn't look back one bit.
Better late than ever, but it was good. We needed that for sure. It was there was no barriers to it. Everything that was kind of hid underneath the carpet all came out, and we just let it all loose, and it was good. It was good. We definitely needed that, and we were full go after that.
Took off.
Yeah.
That's the best thing for us to get beat, honestly.
Yeah, I think we needed it because we had, we went to Auburn and then Mississippi State at home, lost both those series, and then won the first game of the SEC tournament. We lost 6 out of 9 games at that point, and in my opinion, you don't win a national championship if you don't have adversity of some sort. And I think we had it in the fall a little bit, just how the coaches went about coaching us and how we went about our business. We were growing through that, but it's not losing in front of 15,000 people or whatever. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the stuff we did in the fall, I don't know what other schools are doing, but it was more than I had ever done, and set us up really well for, going down the stretch.
Coach Johnson made it a point that, early on, he knew what he had because he had such a good group of players. He's like, we're going to work more than anybody else, and we did. The fall was an absolute dogfight. I mean, you're facing him, Thatcher, Grant, Garrett, Chase Shores, all these guys back to back to back to back to back, and I was like, so we were prepared for anything going into the season, and it was awesome.
It was the average velo on on a Thursday game or whatever was 95 or something like that.
Didn't we have wasn't the average fastball higher than the big league average?
Yeah.
Our team had a higher MLB. We had a higher velo average than MLB average. It was insane. The last ball was
it was
you
ridiculous.
just look up the scoreboard, you'd be seeing guys that would be the year before they were hitting 90 and stuff. Now they're hitting 95. You're sitting there Jesus, get some adrenaline going. And facing guys like that.
Trust me, I was rethinking my life after that fall.
It worked out so far.
It's all right. Trust me, we didn't like facing y'all any more than y'all like facing us. So we can't throw no 90-mile-per-hour fastballs. That ain't gonna play with these guys hitting this stuff. So amp the guys up a little bit. It's pretty cool though, because most people don't get amped up for fall scrimmage and stuff. Every one of us, I'd say majority of the guys that pitched this year, their velos didn't change from the fall to the regular season stuff. It's just we were so pumped up going into fall scrimmages as we were going to the games and stuff. So no one hit a decel. It's really cool to see those guys do that. A lot of guys made some big jumps.
So this College World Series, to me, I've seen many. Of course, this is the greatest one I've ever seen. You guys lose that real tough heartbreaker to Wake Forest in the second game. So now your season hangs in the balance for 3 straight nights. So incredibly tense. 27 innings. As it turned out, 29 innings with the extra inning game against Wake Forest. Just can you describe what it was like when you guys knew that our season could be over and what it meant to push through that and ultimately succeed.
I think we all knew that we needed a big game out of the guys still. Me and Dylan talked about it. We were like, we win this next game. We have a better chance than anybody to win it. Because we knew, we had him for the next game. And we could, but when Nate Ackenhausen went out there and those guys went out there and just absolutely dominated, it was so cool to watch stuff. And those guys stepped up in a big time failure. I mean, that's what saved our season. We got that good at pitching.
Yeah, the plan was laid out for us. Coach Johnson called us up after that loss, and he was like, hey, this is how it's going to happen, and that's exactly how it happened. He said, he's throwing this day, he's throwing this day, he's throwing this day, and it was crazy. He literally just called the shots, and everything happened the way he said it would. He was like, look, I promise you, this team does not want us to win this game. They wanted that to go a different direction, and then we had him, which was, what a game. That was one of the craziest games I've ever seen in my life. And then the next day, it was just balls to the wall.
I don't know. I never talked to most of the hitters about it, but we were the best team in Omaha by a long shot. It wasn't something I was worried about. I knew we were going to win 3 in a row.
I mean, I think it's something Coach Jay and Coach Russell last year was like, there's was there 8 teams? 8 teams. So there's 5 teams that are happy to be there, and there's only 3 that actually want to win and stuff. And all of us knew what we wanted and stuff. And your top 3 teams were the teams that were winning. You clearly could tell your top 3 teams were that weekend, that whole 2 weeks we were there and stuff. It was crazy how they actually spoke that.
The extra inning game that propelled you guys into the championship series. Of course, a great duel between Paul Skenes and Brett Lauder, arguably the greatest pitching duel in College World Series history. The way the game finished, Paul, I know I was down in the dugout because I had to be down there for whenever the game ended for the media. And Thatcher, by this time, was pitching in extra innings. And I noticed that all you would do was just kind of say, hey, you okay? You good? You good? There wasn't a whole lot of interaction with him because just your thoughts on when you're in those types of situations, how do you deal with teammates who are in a high pressure environment?
So there were a few guys on the team last year that Thatcher and Ty being 2 of them, where I could say one thing and mean 2, or I would say one thing and they would understand 2, and it goes both ways. Thatcher was my roommate. We had a lot of talks, till 1 a.m. throughout the season, just talking about whatever it was. And I think the 9th inning, he gave up a couple barrels that got caught, and he comes in and he's like, I executed every pitch that inning. And I'm like, yeah, you did. And then he went out and shoved for the next 2 innings. And, it changes, game to game. At that point of the season, obviously, the 3rd to last game, 4th to last game, whatever, he and I had a pretty good rhythm going. And he's a guy who's like, I want 2 guys talking to me between innings. And, he would ask for Wes whenever he needed it. But really it was like, just keep executing. You need water, you need whatever. And it went both ways. He would do that for me. Ty would do that for me. A few other guys would do that for me. But it was, really simple. Just keep executing. This is what this guy's doing. This is how your stuff's playing, that kind of thing. Just real simple.
And it's about the same stuff with the hitters in that type of game. That one swing can end it, which ultimately it did. But just your thoughts as a hitter, Dylan, you leading off that inning, you recall what was going through your head, obviously get on base.
Yeah, I had an opportunity earlier in the game to kind of make a difference and didn't execute. So, my next time coming up, I was leading off and just trying to do what I do best and lead off and get on base for the RBI leader to come up and drive me in. So that was my only game plan. I wasn't trying to hit a homer, wasn't trying to do this, that. I was just trying to get on base no matter what. And it worked out. I was just, it was unbelievable to just pass it on to Tommy and hit one of the greatest moments in college baseball history. So it was pretty awesome. I was glad to be a part of that. Just Dude, that was pretty cool.
I don't think I've ever ran so fast in my life.
Oh, yeah.
I was in the bullpen and stuff, and I'm sitting there, I'm right there beside the fence, and like, we're sitting down there, and all of us, like, some of us guys are throwing stuff just to be ready for the next inning and stuff in case Thatcher needs it, in case one of us guys have to go out there. And I remember being like, all right, Dylan gets that hit down the line and stuff. Like, all right, cool. Tommy's up. Change pitchers.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny because Tommy knows the guy.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there and he hits it, and like all of us, we're sitting there like you can look at the video, like we all have our hands up and stuff. And as soon as I see it like a little past left center, I was like, oh, it's gone. I started running toward the fence. And you're like, I don't think I've ever seen Blake Money run so fast in my life. I didn't think he could run fast. And I look behind me, he's right on my tail. I have to pick up another gear right now. I was like, I gotta meet Tommy on plate before he runs around the base and stuff. But that was such a cool moment. I was in the outfield and stuff. Didn't even get experience from the dugout and stuff. But we were sitting there like hearing all the fans scream and stuff. We're just like hauling tail right to it. It's so cool.
So again, and that continued on to the championship series with Alonso's home run in extra innings. Florida wins game 2. You guys come back and just overwhelm them. You know, it stands out to me in that, of course, is Jordan Thompson and what he did. I mean, he's a kid. He played great for 3 years. Had a rough few games in the College World Series, but really, to me, that was one of the most memorable experiences when he came up in that RBI situation in Game 3, and the LSU fans just rose en masse to support him. What did that mean to you guys?
It meant the world. I mean, to be honest, I don't remember anything he ever did throughout the whole year. All I remember is him getting us 3 RBIs in the championship game. I mean, that stuff you can't write that stuff up. It's just unbelievable to see him do that. And we all knew that he was gonna. He's been playing this game his whole life. You know what I mean? And to give us one game to win the national championship, you know, Jordan's gonna step up no matter what, and he did for sure.
Yeah. JT, he's like one of the best players I've ever seen played through adversity. Because I mean, being a shortstop at LSU, you get some heat, you know, and he got all of it. So, you know, we were his roommates, and we were there for him the whole time, and I wasn't surprised at all because we don't get to the World Series if we don't have Jordan Thompson on that team. So, yeah, I mean, people, they just look at what he did in the College World Series. Jordan was one of the most important players for the whole 3 years he was there. You know, a lot of things don't happen. Jordan's one of the most clutch hitters I've ever seen in my life. So, yeah.
One of the best teammates I've ever had.
Yeah, he's just
Little one, we never knew.
Yeah.
You go home and stuff, it's the same person.
Yeah.
And he'd be going through it and stuff, and like, be like, oh, he's gonna get through it and stuff. Like, he was unfazed by it because he knew it was part of it. It was part of the game we play and stuff. Like, and in that moment and stuff, when those fans started getting up and cheering and stuff, I was like, it's right here and stuff. And he hits that ball down and from the 6-hole and stuff. And I was like, now the whole rest of the game and stuff, he just goes and stuff. And I was like, that's what makes LSU fans so great.
So, you know, facing all of these high pressure situations throughout the year, and especially in Omaha, does LSU and specifically Coach Johnson and the staff, how do they prepare you guys to succeed in these types of high leverage moments?
in terms of like practice and just the way that he talked to us, it just prepared us for all of these moments. In the championship game, that was the least amount of nerves I've seen from anyone in any game. Like, I was more nervous playing Nicholls State than I was in the game 3, personally. But like, we were just so prepared for that moment because he talked about it all year. He said, like, one game with one team, like, I'm taking this team over anybody. And that's what it came down to, and that's what ultimately got us there.
Yeah, I haven't seen the rings, but I heard it has like one pitch at a time written on it. And that, I mean, that's not just a saying. That's something that he coaches into us from the first day of the fall. Yeah. And I mean, when you like make it that simple, I mean, you have to simplify the game to make it a simple game, and he like really does that to where everything out there is nothing. Like, I mean, you see it, you hear it, but you can just kind of shrug it off. And just make it about executing, and it makes the game really simple.
Yeah, he was so good at any pitcher. I mean, especially with me, I know that if he saw me like a runner got on or something, he saw like a big he'd just go out there. He'd come talk to me. He wouldn't even like Wes wouldn't even talk to me, and like he wouldn't even talk about me like what I really wanted to do. He's like, all right, this is the situation. They're gonna bunt. He was just telling them this. He's like, all right, execute this slider down, execute this fastball to the zone. Like he already knew what was gonna happen before I did it, and all he was doing was coming up there and calming on nerves and stuff, just knowing that like you're good enough for this. We know this and stuff. Do your job right here. We're gonna come back and we're gonna score some runs for you. Like that was. They were so good at that stuff, just come and bring out there. Especially with me, he's just so good at like calming me, like just coming, making me bring me back to the moment and stuff instead of looking too far ahead.
Of course, you had a pretty special moment yourself. 17 strikeouts, most in College World Series history in a regulation game prior to extra innings. What were you feeling that day, that game win against Florida?
It's a weird feeling because like I never knew how many strikeouts I had. Because I remember coming in the 7th inning, I think I struck out the last guy, and I come in and stuff, everybody's cheering me on, and like, all I can think about is like, we're losing. That's the only thought I had in my, we were losing 3-2 at that time and stuff, so like I was still, like I had a stone face, I was kind of mad, I was like, come on, let's get this game out. And then when Tommy went out there, did that homer stuff and stuff, and like, only thing I could think about was going out the next inning and doing my job again. And the only time I actually realized it, I didn't even know the number until after the game and stuff. Like when I struck out the last guy of the game, that's whenever like the moment came into me and stuff. Cause like I knew I was done. Yeah. I knew I was not throwing anymore the rest of the game and stuff. I wasn't even supposed to go out that. Like I was only supposed to go through the first hitter. I remember going out there. They were asking me, "Hey, can you get this first guy?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." Go out there, and then they just like I got the first guy out, and he's like, "Go." Yeah. And then after that, when I started, and after that inning and stuff, it was so cool to see, just like all the fan stuff. I didn't realize it. Stuff we got back in innings, I got back in the dugout. It was so cool. Big moment for sure.
I've heard Coach Johnson say since you guys have won the championship that 2023 LSU is the greatest college baseball team of all time. And I think there are a lot of arguments that support that. He often said throughout the year to the media, when this team plays in character, no one can beat us. What does it mean to you guys to play in character? What does that mean? What did it mean for this team?
Everything was clicking. Yeah. We know when we were all playing to our character, the person we were, no one's gonna beat us. And you could tell those days too. Like it was so easy. You could tell in bat practice before the game, like, oh, we're gonna be good today, really good. And we felt like that most days, anyways. But like, yeah, we just knew everything was clicking at the right time.
That was game 3.
Yeah. There's no doubt in our mind.
I truly believe we could have played anyone. Yeah. Nobody was beating us.
I don't think I've ever seen Thatcher so relaxed in my life. That game, I've never seen him, like, he was relaxed most of the year, but like that game, like it's the last game of the year, like college baseball is over after this game right here, and like I've never seen him so just calm. He had just a straight pace. It was pretty cool to see. And I like me and Paul, I think me and Wes and Paul were like, oh, it's good, and it was like so cool to watch. I had no doubt in my mind what he did. There's no question at all what he did.
So you guys are all, I guess, quote, former LSU players now. So what does that mean to you, and how do you hope to still be a part of the program as you move on to your professional careers?
I mean, LSU's done a lot for me, and I think it's important to, try to give back. And obviously being here, got a good group of guys, training in Baton Rouge this off season. I mean, you can't not get better when you're around, guys like this every day. Just working out, even if I'm not playing catch with you guys, but just being around you guys and your presence, like that's what we had every day when we were here. And I got a lot of buddies. You guys have a lot of buddies on the team, still on the team this year. But just trying to keep it going, and it's important. It's fun to come back, fun to see everybody, but it's also important to kind of remember your roots and give back.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was really sad that we're leaving here. Obviously we won, but like we gave our heart and souls to this program, and they gave it back to us too. So it's just good. It's just good to finish on a good note and now we got a second home now, so and everybody's coming back, and we got a good group of guys coming back here training and getting to work. And I don't know about you guys, but I'll be here for a while. I got a place here now, so kind of stuck here with everybody.
I think it's really cool too. It's like I know in the past I see ex-players here. They come here and there. It's not as many and stuff, but I've seen more ex-pro players from just last year's team come work out and stuff every day and stuff than I ever have. So
yeah, that's just the culture though that Coach Jay brings to this program. Is it's open to any ex-player that's been here. So it's good to have everybody come back and create a good atmosphere for everybody to come train at. So, and it also shifts over to the guys that are playing now and the next guys to know that they have a second home for them too, and it pushes them the same way. So it's good.
Pretty cool too when you see all those guys out there today being Paul working out and stuff. It's it shows the recruits and stuff that are coming over here. Just these guys come back and they work out stuff, and I'm like, this is why would you want to go anywhere else in here and stuff? You have everything you need to get better here. No wonder. It's really cool to see that. So.
Yeah, every possible thing you need's here. I can't see why you wouldn't want to be here. So that's just my opinion, though.
All right, guys. Look, really appreciate you being with us today. It means a lot. It's a big weekend, of course. You guys getting your rings this weekend as the Tigers are playing Florida in football, and big ceremony. Looking forward to seeing everybody for the ring ceremony. Personally, enjoyed so much work with all y'all. Congratulations on incredible accomplishment, and can't wait to follow you guys throughout your pro careers.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.